Now we're really early into the life cycle of what the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will be all about. The Z Fold 6 was just released. It's an awesome phone. If you upgrade to it, I think you'll be very, very happy. The cameras are really good. It's fast and fluid. It's gonna have 7 years of updates with the software side and on the security side. It's got a good battery life, solid, not amazing, but good. It's fast, it's got great performance. There's really a lot of reasons to like it. But I wanted to talk about the Galaxy Z Fold 7, some of the predictions I have and what to expect with that phone. And what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm going to set a reminder for myself, basically a year from what I think the release date's going to be, because I think by then we should know. And I will go back in time and search for this video, hopefully I can find it, and find out if I was right on anything, if I was wrong on most stuff or what. But I want to kind of show you and give you my predictions and what I think to expect, because I think we're gonna see some key differences with the Galaxy Z Fold 7 versus the previous generations of this device. So without further ado, here is my list. And if you look at the list, we'll start at the top. Snapdragon 8 Gen 4, which is not really a big surprise, but I threw a little curveball in there because I think we might see a MediaTek 9400-ish or whatever they end up calling the processor, because of the fact they're using MediaTek processors in their tablets, in the Tab S10 Plus and S10 Ultra, and also because the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4s are supposed to see a pretty sizable price increase, and manufacturers want to keep their prices down, and MediaTek processors are just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the Snapdragon variants. So that's why, again, it's probably gonna be a Snapdragon 8 Gen 4, but at the same time, I just want to throw that curveball in. We might see a MediaTek 9400, maybe 9500 processor that goes in the side of this phone. I also think 16 gigs of RAM is probably a given at that point. I don't think they're gonna mess around anymore, especially with their main competition. The Pixel and the OnePlus, those folding phones, have 16 gigs of RAM, and now the Fold 7 will definitely have it too, I would expect. I don't think the storage amounts are gonna change. I think it's still gonna be 256, 512, and 1 terabyte. I don't think we'll see a 2 terabyte, and I don't think they'll get rid of the 256. I think we'll stick with probably the same storage amounts. The display sizes, I do think will change, and I think they're actually gonna be the same as what we're potentially going to see with the new Galaxy Z Fold 6 Slim, which is 8 inches on the inside display and then 6.5 inches on the cover display. And I think that because I think what Samsung's going to end up doing here is releasing, probably now and into the future, release 2 variants of the phone. One that is worldwide release, and then another one that's released probably only in Korea and China, where it's 2 of their, big Asian markets where they want to make a big stamp of approval for this and put something out that can compete spec-wise with probably the Chinese companies that they go against. So I think what we're going to end up seeing is, in a lot of ways, we'll end up getting the Slim/Ultra version, but we're going to end up getting it almost a year later here in the Western world and pretty much everywhere else. But I think it's going to end up, what it's going to end up doing to it, it's going to give us 3 things. Better brightness, which you don't need a bigger display to do that, but I think we will get better brightness. 3000 nits versus I think it was 2700 on the Galaxy Z Fold 6. I don't think it's gonna jump from 27 all the way to 4000 or something. I think it'll be about 3000 nits of brightness on the Fold 7. I also think it's gonna give us bigger battery, finally. We've been at 4400 milliamp battery for so long, and I think 4800 milliamp battery is gonna be the next evolution. It might be 47, it might be 49, it might even be 5,000, but I think we'll definitely get a bigger battery because the phone is going to be larger. It's also going to be slimmer and lighter as well. So you're going to get a lighter phone, you're going to get a thinner phone, and all of that weight distribution and size and thickness and all that is just going to be spread out by how large the inner display is at that 8 inches. So that's why I think that stuff is going to happen. I also think we're finally going to see 45 watt fast charging wired. It'll stick with 15 watt wireless, but I do think they're gonna upgrade it and match it up with the Galaxy S24 Ultra phones, which already have 45 watt charging. I think the Fold 7 will finally get this as well, again, because they're able to make a much larger phone at the end of the day. Now, cameras, I think it's gonna be, I think the main camera is gonna be basically the same. It might be a different brand or an updated model, but it's gonna be the same megapixel. I think it will end up taking better photos than any of the past generations of fold phones from Samsung, but I think it will still end up being the same megapixels. I don't think you'll see a difference. I do think the ultra wide will also go up to 50 megapixels, which would be an upgrade. I think the telephoto will be at 12 megapixels. I think the selfie will be at 12 megapixels. And I think the under panel camera on the main display will go up as well. I think it'll end up matching what we're supposed to be seeing on the slim version that's coming out with the Fold 6 Slim at 5 megapixels. So I think, again, the overall, when we look at these camera specs, we're not gonna be like, oh wow, this is a huge upgrade on paper. But I think when you take photos with this, I think that's where you'll see some of the improvements. No S Pen integration. They're trying to make this slimmer, not to add things into the phone. So if you're hoping for S Pen integration, I don't think you're gonna see it. I also wouldn't be surprised if they remove S Pen usage on the phone. I don't think they will, but it wouldn't surprise me at all either. But I definitely don't think there's going to have any kind of integrating the S Pen into the phone. At best, you will be able to use it, but no integration. AI continuing to add new features. Do I have any ideas? Not yet. I'm still waiting for that video feature I heard about where you can remove people from video. That might be an expectation to have when the Fold 7 comes out, because the processors are even more powerful and can handle some of that power that's needed for that. Other than that, it's really difficult to talk about what I think is going to happen with AI. I don't no idea. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. Maybe you guys can. You can put that in the comments. But as for new AI features, I can't really think of any. I think they'll continue with the 7 years of security and firmware updates. I don't think they're going to increase that to 8 or 9 or 10 years. Maybe when devices don't really need to get upgraded anymore, they will do something like that. But right now, I don't think they'll move from 7 years. I think they'll stick with the July launch and release date of these phones. I don't think they're gonna jump to June or go back to August. I think it'll still be in that July timeframe where they announce it in basically late, like the early part of July, and then in the middle, closer towards the end of July will be the release date. And I think the price will be $18.99. I don't think we're gonna see a price decrease. I don't think if we see a price increase, it's only gonna be $19.99, but I have good feelings. I think it's gonna be at $18.99. But overall, when you look at this Fold 7, what do you see in terms of any changes? It's really going to be about what we've seen over the past few years. Faster, more RAM now. You know, from other companies have added more RAM, Samsung hasn't. But I think faster, more powerful, more RAM, the bigger displays. I think finally they're gonna actually do something major in terms of the displays on here. I think their audience speaks loudly. I know there's a large part of the audience that doesn't want these changes in display sizes to be bigger, but then I think the greater majority actually do, especially when they want something different. We're gonna finally see more brightness. We're gonna see bigger battery, which will give us better battery life, faster charging, slightly updated cameras on some of the modules for the cameras, and then more of the same for everything else. So I think when I look at this would definitely be enough for me to want to upgrade just on paper. And honestly, the Fold 6, when I was comparing that to other variations of the phone, it was enough for me to want to upgrade, regardless if I was not a consumer or not. You know, I can see you not wanting to upgrade or people not wanting to upgrade or have to upgrade for whatever reason, but at the same time, it is a good upgrade. And I think the Fold 7 will finally be the upgrade on the Fold line that really takes it to the next level. I'm hoping anyway. We'll see what happens. I'll set myself a reminder. Hopefully I can find this video back in my catalog about a year from now. But let me know your thoughts. Give me your predictions, and we can even go through some of the comments a year from now and check out what happened with it and if we were right or wrong. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.